Thank you, Deborah, and Mary, not with us today, but thank Mary for all she does. Most importantly, for asking Jarrett and I to co-chair today's event, and for bringing really White Ribbon Day campaign here to Massachusetts and spreading its international message on a local level. I know he's left, but I do want to thank last year's co-chair, Angela McLean and Paolo Pinto, for their leadership last year. They represent the very best of Massachusetts' future, a future that we hope will be one day free of sexual and domestic violence. And I want to thank, and it's been a privilege really, to serve in this role with my very good friend and co-chair, Jarrett Barrios. You know, it was just a few weeks ago that Jarrett and I, and Craig, and Deborah, and others came together to film a public service announcement on the White Ribbon Pledge in this particular day. We were scheduled to shoot that public service announcement just as the blizzard of 2013 was getting underway. It was blowing into town, hardly anyone was on the road, you know, doom and gloom was widely predicted, and I thought for sure I would get a phone call as I was having my morning coffee that this whole shoot would be canceled, but I had come to know better about Jane Doe. Just like today, this team wasn't going to let a little snow and a little wind or anything else stop them from spreading the word about ending sexual and domestic violence against women. So please join me in giving a big, big round of applause to Jane Doe. The sad truth about prosecuting cases of domestic violence and sexual assault is that many times, by the time a case reaches our office, our desk, the damage has already been done. The value of the White Ribbon Pledge is that it can prevent those crimes from happening in the very first place. Let's face it, violence, and especially violence against women, is a behavior that people learn. When role models and peer leaders display different behavior, when we show respect for our partners and embrace equality in all relationships, we do away with the idea that sexual and domestic violence are acceptable under any circumstances. We have to recognize that violence against women isn't a women's issue only. It's a men's issue too. I was asked a few months ago to address a local fathers group on the topic of what they can do as fathers to protect their adolescent young daughters. I spent a lot of time talking about the internet, Facebook, MySpace, all the kinds of things that young women and young boys can get involved in. But I finished up with this. I urge them to raise good sons, to raise respectful sons. And how do we do that? We as men model respectful relationships with our own partners. We encourage respectful behavior in our children. And maybe most importantly, as Angelo did apparently with those two wrestlers, but he's a big guy, so, you know, I give him credit for that. He spoke out, though. He spoke out when he saw disrespectful and violent behavior, and we should do so whenever we see it. Far and away, most men will tell you honestly that they've never hit a woman and they never would. But that's not enough in an age when boys and young men are bombarded with imagery that encourages aggressive and dominating behavior towards their partners. We need to take an active role in discouraging this sort of behavior whenever and wherever we see it. So I want to say this to all the young men who are here today. I see a whole bunch. It was really great to see you all come in here. You don't have to limit yourself to this sort of stereotype. You can show strength in your relationships without showing violence. You can show commitment to your partner without using control. And you can be a man without ever hurting a woman. And we've got a lot of exciting speakers that we're going to hear from today, so I'd like now to turn the podium over to my good friend and my co-chair of the 2013 White Ribbon Campaign, the CEO of the American Red Cross for Eastern Massachusetts, Jarrett Barrios. Jarrett?